Yo, get that shit on my sheets, bro.
Mobbing in the Bentley, smoking moon.
Hey.
Rocks.
Hey.
Pocket full of motherfucking blue guap. Half an ounce in my Gucci tube. Socks. For the summertime, got a new.
What?
G.
He did
No,
not.
he didn't. But I'm just saying, bring up those low
Derek
lights.
Derek White had a really bad game. He's
He's got to start
actually
hitting some shots if we
he's
gonna be
been
sweeping niggas.
he's had an amazing defensive season, like one of the best defensive seasons for a two guard, like somebody his height. There's only a couple people that ever reached some of the like statistical marks on defense, blocks especially. He's had a really down year, um, at least efficiency wise on offense. So you really hope that whatever playoff magic like does to certain players, you really hope that it picks up for him. This dude right here. Like we could talk a lot about this. I don't want to talk about it like it's
Go
the
ahead, highlight
because we
Kata.
have
Go ahead. Bring it up.
because
Go ahead.
he's been so good, and I think that also part of it is the coaching. Missoula has done an amazing job with this team this year, and it's actually incredible when you look at where we are right now and like how things started, like how things felt back when when Tatum was down on the court, and we were all hoping that somehow like it could be like a miracle that maybe he didn't, maybe it's not as bad as we thought. And then when we got the news, and then you start like a lot of people, you start thinking like damn, like next year, like what's what are we gonna get? And then you start shipping players away, and then that one of the main things that happened, but like we obviously know certain players, but Kata was essentially an unknown to the basketball world. And I remember, and I'm not saying I said called it, but I remember Kada in that invitational, that international tournament that they were doing at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Kada, I think Kada was on is on Portugal, right? And Kada was playing amazing, and you had a little bit of rumblings like, hey, like he looks pretty good. There might be something that you could unlock. Like this was a toss away player. This was somebody who was like essentially like about to be out the league and probably on his way to like an international career. And now statistically, I know not everybody likes analytics. If you look at offensive and defensive numbers, he's 10th. He's the 10th best center in the league as far as total like impact efficiency off of like offensive rating, defensive rating. So, and even if I'm not saying I'm not gonna, we need to go through that, but just the fact that you got that out of a player that essentially was like, a toss away player, a player that
But
might
how
have got
much does
thrown
that have
into a
to do
trade.
with the system versus the player? I don't want to get into that
That's
like
why I give.
too
That's
deep,
why
but
That's why Rex said he don't want to get into it
yeah, all
because
right,
he
but
knows.
yeah,
I mean, he's obviously he had an opportunity. He was given an opportunity,
yeah, no, he's definitely taking
and he
advantage of
took
opportunity.
advantage of it. He
Yeah,
was put
for
in.
sure.
He's been put in a lot of positions that have allowed him to succeed by the coaching. Missoula has done an amazing job. There was a play specifically
Who's this kid? That kid's
where
been
I
hooping
think it was
55.
That's
so
Sherman.
the game against Charlotte. This is just a moment, and like these are things that like things that you if you
Vooch.
really paying attention, you'll
Before the
pick up
cameras
on
go
stuff.
away.
So there was a play, I think LaMelo Ball had the ball, and it was like a dead ball situation, and he goes and like dribbles to the hoop, like it was like a late whistle or something. So like the same way KG used to jump up and block people's shots, LaMelo was like going to the hoop, and Kada kind of just like stood there and let him, and Missoula went absolute bananas, screaming on the
Yeah, I saw that.
sidelines, telling Kada, don't let him
Even though
get
we
a
won the
layup,
game, yeah.
even if it's not gonna count. So like that he's in his ear, and that he's coaching him up when you see stuff like that. So
Speaking of Missoula, he has reached 55 wins in all 4 seasons as the coach of the Celtics. Only 2 coaches in team history have more 55 win seasons: Red Auerbach and Casey Jones.
yeah, Casey Jones, one of the best coaches in Celtics history. Obviously, Red Auerbach's iconic. Red Auerbach, it took him 16 years
Yeah,
I think Casey Jones did it in
five. Yep,
every
five.
season that he coached. Um, he's gonna probably go down. I mean, it depends on what happens this year. This year, we have a long way to go, but the the potential way that you could look like you could come out of this season if they could, like if they do it, when if you this story is gonna be incredible. Like this with that DVD that drops or whatever they put all the pieces together at the end would be
Not the
something else.
DVD.
So
Like
the DVD.
you know what I'm
Um,
saying. You know what I mean.
My only
But
concern with the
like
Celtics going all the way is our depth. I'm not 100% sold on it when it comes to playoff time. A lot of these guys aren't playoff proven, and that's my only concern. But
G, you've been
so
bringing up.
Tatum, so you have yeah, so you have Tatum and Brown, obviously Derek White, Sam Hauser have the most experience out of the playing time experience. You have Peyton Pritchard who has not quite lived up to his regular season in the
Right
playoffs
on
yet. You
QX.
have Vucevic who has not had a lot of playoff experience, and then obviously Kada had an amazing regular season, but he has almost zero playoff experience. So you do have a legitimate concern there because you know how it gets in the playoffs.
it's different.
you
Shit
could
gets
you could
different.
Exactly.
you could
100%.
people bring out their best strategies and there's a possibility that you have a team that could completely take Kada out of the
100%.
rotations.
100%.
You have situations
But
like this. There's
That's
a
that's the
debate
concern with
about
the
like
Knicks.
who's gonna
That's the
start.
concern
I
with
was
the
gonna
Knicks
say,
is like
G.
Mitchell Robinson when they got Mitchell Robinson lining up with Kada, that could be tough for Kada. I don't think
But
Kada's really played. I don't think Kada. So the thing about guys like Kada, there's no game plan for him. Nobody's going into these games against the Celtics like, hey, we need to make sure we limit this guy. It's not there yet. Even with as well as he's been playing, he's just not there yet. No one's concerned about him. And like, even some of these shots that you see, these layups, these push shots, these tip backs, it shows you that like he's still not even getting that respect. So like when
But
it comes to the playoffs and they put a Mitchell Robinson on him and Mitchell's like, yo, his job right now is to just make sure that Kada is obsolete. He has no value on the court. That's gonna change. That's gonna change everything because we can't. Vooch is not that guy. Vooch is like a poor man's
so
Porzingis. That's basically our
so
Porzingis replacement. You know what I mean? So like that's
so
my
so
only concern.
as far as Kada goes, his impact is going to be defensively. I'm more concerned about if you have a situation where you you can't play him because of the personnel that's out there.
Yeah,
I'm
like
not
if he has to
really
cover
concerned
Towns.
about his offense because
So if he
he
has to
gets
cover Towns,
lost.
then what happens? So if he has to cover Towns, and we know Towns,
This is the concern. This is the concern.
yeah,
That's basically what it is. Because but then again, you have Garza had a good year. You don't
or
want
Duran.
that
You
necessarily
said
to
Detroit
be.
too.
I think
hey,
the Duran
before we get
matchup
to
is great. I
before
think that's great. I think that allows it because there's similar players as far as where they like to play on the court. You're not gonna have Kata pulled out too far away from Duran's not gonna be hanging out at the 3 point line like Towns might.
Duran's gonna get him into foul trouble though because he gets fed
all
a
right,
lot.
that
He's
would
a
be
two hundred
Eastern
Yeah,
Conference
but
Finals. That would be Eastern Conference Finals. Before we
that
get there,
hasn't really been the issue. That hasn't been the issue of late. That's something that he's worked a lot on. That's another problem that he had last year. He was almost just like, it was almost like Duran was a couple years. I don't know if I mean, you obviously know.
I know, I know,
It's
I
like
know.
Duran had the same problem. That's another coaching thing is helping, putting like teachable moments and that he seems to have improved a lot in that too. So it's gonna be tough matches, but at the end of the day, the same time you have Tatum and Brown, who has the personnel to cover
What can Brown do
healthy
for you?
Tatum and healthy Brown, that's the thing. So if we're sitting here heated debate about Kata's impact,
yeah.
at the same time Jalen's gonna be dropping 30, Tatum's gonna be having 20, 15 rebounds and 8 assists, so who like what it like that's the main thing. If Derek White can start hitting some shots, if he can get that percentage up, and so there's two things when we can move on because I know we've been kind of going for a minute. If Derek, I think Tatum and Brown are going to do the things they do. The role players fill into their roles, but you have two players that need to step up, and Derek White needs to play better offensively, and Peyton Pritchard needs to do the things that he does during the regular season in the playoffs. He has to. We need that. So
All right.
you can't have a
Yeah.
disappearing act from Pritchard.